Okay, it's about 7:04. Not sure. I need to get some audio check, video. Well, not necessarily video check as of yet, but let me get some audio check. So if anyone that's in the chat room, go ahead and type, "Hey, said I can hear you." As you come into the chat room, just type in your name and say, "Hey, who am I?" And I'm in the chat room. All right. Anyone out there that can hear me? Can anyone hear me? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. There's I see Letitia, Dorcia. Hey, Letitia, how you doing? All right, cool. Glad you can hear me. Who else we got out here? I'm gonna wait a little bit to get some folks, get some stragglers to come on. Meanwhile, um, let's do this. All right, let me know if y'all. Hold on. Let me know if you're able to see this screen right here. Type in the chat box and let me know if you're able to see the screen. All right, Letitia, can you see it? Check the room here and see who else is in. See Calvin Peoples. Okay, as you enter the room, please type your name and let me know that you just entered the room. Okay. Okay. Awesome. 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 All right. In about next 2 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and get started because I don't want to keep everybody on here long. This is recorded, so for those who did not come on live, they can catch the recorded version of this. All right. Um, so we'll go ahead here shortly and get this started, so that way we can go ahead and do what we need to do for the rest of the evening. Get some last few texts out here. Jump over here, see if anybody else get logged in. I'll say that did. Okay, let's go ahead and get started here. Everybody else will play catch up. All right. So, for those of you who are new, my name is Cedric Jenkins. I've been part of my econ now for about 2.5 years, almost 3 years to be quite honest. And those of you who just joined, your financial experiences is about to change because of the fact you're about to get some new information that's about to give you some new results. And basically that's what it's all about, right? For almost 50 some years, we've been behind the 8 ball, living in financial darkness because of the fact of some financial information that was left out from our teaching. We've been taught, or we've been left out. We've been taught the wrong thing about about finances, right? So they taught us what they want us to know, but it wasn't everything that we needed to know, particularly regarding life skill, survival skills in order for us to live in this society. So that's why you join my econ, because of the fact that financially you can do better, but you've tried some things, you've seen some things and didn't quite get you there. So now you're looking at trying to figure out what it is that you need to do. Here's the missing link. It's the financial education that's what's missing, right? It's the financial education. It's not about making more money, and while making more money does look good on paper, it's not about making more money. It's about the education to keep the money that you're already making go a whole lot further. That's what the wealthy do, is to learn how, through a strategy, how to enhance the money that they already earning, make it grow to where it goes a whole lot further. So what I want to do tonight, because we're getting a new wave of new independent business owners to come in, is I want to do some quick training. I'll do another training next week until the promo ends, just to make sure we don't leave anybody behind. Again, I mentioned talking about the financial darkness, right? So what I want to do is get on here to shed some light on some things, kind of put you on the yellow brick road to make sure once you start the business, right, then now you have things in place to go ahead and move forward, so that way you're not lost. So I got a few things that I want to go over real quick. Let me just start off with the free promo, and this is the screen that you're looking at now. Is the promotion? The promotion, the $199.95 being waived. That promotion ends on October 31st. All right, so we actually have until October 31st before this promo go back to the regular price of $199.95. After which everything goes back to normal, as far as compensation plan and things of that nature, right? But then we'll do some more training on how, because I can show folks the value, not only the value of it being free, but I can show value, shall I say cost versus value, when it goes back to $199. Okay. So for those who are new and looking at this and say, well, why they won't keep it free? Well, people have to find value in something in order for them to sustain and stick and stay, right? If they feel as though it's free, they won't take it serious. But if they have some skin in the game, meaning they come out of their pocket and make an initial investment into a business, then now they'll take it a little bit more serious because they made an initial investment. But this investment here, this one-time investment of $199, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because of the fact you'll continue year in and year out get thousands of dollars in tax saving because of the fact of the strategies that you're going to be using to make your money grow. All right. So as we talk about the promo, right? The promo ends on October 31st. And the website to the promo is financialfix99.com. So anytime that you want to talk to someone and share this with anyone, send them to this website. Here's what you got on the website. You got the video here where it says shift your mindset and shift your income. You got Brian Bean, who's the creator of Extra Digit Movement. He's in my econ. He's just like an independent business owner, just like you and I. But he created this brand called Extra Digit Movement, right? And so he creates content, training content such as this. And in this video, he talks about income shifting. And this is a 9-minute video. And in the video, it breaks it down as far as what is the concept is all about. So send potential folks that you want to talk to, send them there to this video, so this way they can see what the concept is all about. All right. Obviously, you see the share buttons up under there. So if you want to share it socially, you can use those 3 social shares. Here's one thing that I'm gonna mention now. You know, most of us, some of us, shall I say? Let me back off. Let me say some of us. Our attention span is not all that great, right? So they'll see the video and then that'll be it. But you have a whole lot of other information that someone can check out on this website. For instance, and I just had 2 people that I talked to this week. They saw the video, but then they didn't see the part to where the $199 was waived and it was a $34.95 monthly fee, membership fee. Now, not everybody's going to read. So here's what you want to do, right? You want to make sure if you talk to them personally, is to make sure you tell them about the free offer and the $34.95 monthly membership fee, because they may or may not read that. But you want to make sure they understand their upfront cost and their monthly cost, and when it ends. All right. So I just want to point that out, because I've been going through talking to people about the opportunity, and they saw the video and then that's all they saw, and then they missed the fact that this opportunity was 0 cost with the $34.95 monthly membership fee. All right, just want to point that out. But what else you got on here on the screen is this. So if you were to go down a little bit further, hold on. Let me get to my screens here. Right. So now you got a testimonial video right here, right next. Excuse me, hold on. Give me a sec. Okay. I'm adjusting my screen here. So right here, you have a testimonial video that they can take a look at to see, you know, how many people or what kind of success people are having using these strategies. All right, let's go on down a little bit further. Right here, if you say click here on the step 2, here's what happens. Now it takes you to some more videos. But the good thing about on this page is they get to see a live demo of the cash flow manager software and the cash flow strategist. All right. So anyone have any kind of question? The cash flow strategist, if by the way, is your debt elimination program. All right. It's a software that pretty much just like your own personal financial advisor, going to ask a series of questions and then based upon your answer, it gives you or formulates a plan for you to get out your debt and to show you or forecast how much money that you need to invest to see what you look like in your out years. So when you get a chance, take a look at the Cash Flow Manager Strategist. Over here to the far left, you got your Cash Flow Manager software. This is our record keeping software. At this point, everybody, if you haven't already done so, you should have the Cash Flow Manager software loaded on your phone. If not, what I'm gonna do, there is a Cash Flow Manager training video that I put in the team page that goes over the Cash Flow Manager software. But let me just highlight a couple of things right here. On the Cash Flow Manager software, what you want to do is, let me do this. I'll send this to y'all right now. Give me a sec. Oh, not here, not here. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna copy and paste this link in the chat page. Yeah. So everyone that's in the chat in the chat room, I put a link out there for you to copy and paste and send to your mobile devices, whether it be your iPhone or your Android. Send that link to yourself, and then open it up. Go to that link and then open it up. It'll take you to your Cash Flow Manager software screen, and then create yourself what you call a bookmark. iPhones and Samsung's a little bit different. For iPhones, once you get to the link, down there at the bottom, there is a square with an arrow pointing up. If you hit that, it'll allow you to add shortcut to home screen. For Samsung or Android users, is a little bit different. When you go to that link, in the top right hand corner where that web address is going to be, you're going to see 3 little dots. If you hit the 3 little dots, it's going to give you a drop down menu, and then in the drop down menu you should see an option that says add to home screen. All right, and it will put an icon on your home screen, and once you do that, now you're able to go have direct access to your software, Cash Flow Manager software. If you run into any problems, feel free to give me a call. And if you don't have my number, here's my number. All right, so here's my number. If you have any problems getting your Cash Flow Manager set up, by all means, give me a call. All right. Let's see who else got on. Felicia. All right. So for the promo, that's pretty much it. So your promo screen, I mean your this website pretty much lays out for anyone who wants to get any kind of information about the promo, right? So you got steps 1, 2, and 3. It's like in Barney terms. Let them come here and get empowered or get exposed to what we're doing, and then from there, if they got questions, then let's get their questions answered. Some folks are, even though they're going to see this, it's going to make sense. They're going to say it sounds good, too good to be true, that kind of thing. But you're going to have some that's going to have some questions. So let's try to answer their question, if you will, so they can make a decision, right? Let's see. So that's pretty much it for the promo. So again, this promo is going to end on the 31st. So between now and the 31st, we want to go out and share this to as many folks as we can. All right, let's share this out to as many folks as we can while it is free. While it is free, I don't know where you can go in this country where you can start up or ramp up a business for free. For free. Just by being part of this circle, you're gonna save thousands of dollars. But people pay $5,000 to $10,000 to a financial advisor to get this same information, if not less. On top of that, you start a business for free. Okay. Now I keep saying free because of the fact people are going to look at this and they're going to look at it all skeptical because it's free, right? Don't let those folks waste your time over an opportunity that's free, especially if it's going to save them thousands of dollars in tax savings, especially if it's going to help them eliminate their debt. I got rid of $35,000 worth of debt within 2.5 years. I done put $20-some thousand cash in tax savings in my pocket. I done put business income in my pocket. Now I got a huge investment portfolio that I didn't have a couple of 2.5 years ago. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win just by people joining this circle, right? Because they're going to get financially empowered that they're not getting now. Okay, so don't waste a whole lot of time trying to convince or sell someone financial education to them. All we're doing is taking known facts, putting it in simple terms for them to understand it, so they can make a decision about what they want to do with their own personal finances. All right. Just remember, it's free until October 31st. All right. October 31st. All right, let's move on to the next thing. The next bullet I want to talk about is an upcoming event. This is particularly for those who are in or close to the Montgomery, Alabama area. Brian Bean, who's the gentleman that you see right here on this video, is coming to Montgomery, Alabama on October 24th to do a millionaire mixer. He's going to do like 8 or 9 cities, and he's starting off with the Montgomery, Alabama location. As he spoke, as soon as I get a flyer from him, I will put that out. So this way, everybody can see what city he's going to be going to. Maybe you may have some friends in those areas that they may be visiting. If so, this will be a good venue for them for you to have them to come sit in and listen to from Brian Bean as far as what income shifting is all about. Okay. If for those who are out of town or out of state and you have friends here in the Montgomery, Alabama location, invite them out to this millionaire mixer. I haven't decided yet whether or not if I was going to do a Facebook Live or do any kind of live content. That's yet to be determined. I'll have to see. Everything is predicated on what I'm going to be doing at the event. If I'm going to be busy doing other things, if I'm free to do that, more than likely I will be providing some live feeds so that way everybody can see what's going on. All right. So that's the upcoming event. Next topic I want to hit is the Go for Gold. So this is after you get in, a new independent business owner get in. First thing they want to do is get in here and get acclimated to the business. So what I did was this. Excuse me. Go for Gold. And let me put the link out here so you can have it. As soon as you come in, this is what you want to do is go to this link. Here on this link, it gives you ABC 1, 2, 3, some of the things that you need to do the minute that you get in. tonight we're gonna do two of these things. Well, we covered one, which is get your cash flow manager software on your phone and get your cash flow manager profile up and running. And then the other thing is, excuse me. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Let me take some drink here. All right. After you get your cash flow manager up and going, the next thing that you want to do is let's revisit the W-4, in which we're going to do that tonight. All right. We're going to revisit the W-4. Here's the thing. Here's the reason why. Because we want to get tax savings. There's two types of tax savings. You got the instant gratification and you got the delayed gratification. Well, the instant gratification is your W-4. 80% of the American population who earns income as a wage income earner has their W-4 filled out improperly, which means they're overpaying in taxes. So we want to put the Band-Aid on that immediately to bring that tax savings back into your household, so that money can come and go to work for you and not for somebody else, mainly the federal government. There's nothing in the tax codes written that says that a taxpayer ought to be, whatever the case may be overpaying in taxes. There's nothing in there. Now, if you that patriotic and you want to overpay your taxes and you want to struggle, by all means, go right ahead. As a matter of fact, I'll set up me a GoFundMe link for y'all to, if you're that giving. But I'll show you where I don't know on this form here, but the government does say that overpaying your taxes is probably not a financial smart move, and you should take that money to clear debt or put it in an investment. That comes straight from the IRS themselves. All right. So those are the first two things that's prominent that we need to do when someone immediately joins, is to get that cash flow manager app going, up and running, and then revisit your W-4. All right. What's key about the cash flow manager software? Now you get to start tracking all your expenses. And when you hit that drop down list where you see the expense category, now you get to see what it is you're able to write off now, as opposed to what you couldn't write off. All right. So now you start saying, oh, I didn't know I can write off utility bills. I didn't know I can write off a portion of my mortgage. Oh, I didn't know I can write off my gas I put in my car. You'll see all that in your expense category list once you get inside of your cash flow manager software. But if you're not inside your cash flow manager software, then you ain't gonna know what you're entitled to write off. So that's very, very, very important. All right. All right. So let's go back here to the Go for Gold. Basically is this. You want to get in here, and I already mentioned the two things that you want to get started, but here's some links here that you can click on that's gonna show you step by step what you should be doing. Okay. So basically just come here and everyone that's new, send them this link and have them to come to this link, and step by step it will tell you what you should be doing in the first 4 days, first 4 weeks, what have you. All right. So here's the steps right here. I kind of already alluded to this earlier, so I won't take too much of the time going over this stuff. These are worksheets that we train on and get educated on. So this is the worksheet here that talks about what's a refund versus a W-4 adjustment, and it shows you the number of the tax savings of making an adjustment to your W-4. We talk about the banker's secret or the rule of 72. So we educate our new business, independent business owners how investment works by them understanding the rule of 72. The bloody mess. This talks about how someone who's carrying a credit card debt of $5,000, how much the bank will earn off of just of a $5,000 credit card balance. It's called a bloody mess. And as you can see the numbers, if you're glancing at the numbers, you can actually see right there why we call it a bloody mess. All right. Your number one asset. Okay. So your number one asset is just basically seeing the numbers in action as to some of the things that you're going to be writing off. This is what you're going to be keeping up with in your cash flow management software. I'm going to go over this as we get down to doing your W-4, because I want y'all to see how these numbers work, and it'll make sense when we start looking at the W-4, right? And that's a copy of a 2016 W-4 form. All right. So here on the Go for Gold, everybody come here. You got videos that will walk you through or get you educated, get you started on things that you need to know. All right. So just take spend a little time and go through this. All right. Now, as we talk about Go for Gold, I don't know if anyone was able to see the diagram that I put out there as far as a strategy to go for gold. But if you haven't, let me show it to you. All right. So here's the thing when it talks about going for gold, right? Can everyone see that screen? Type in the chat box and let me know that you're able to see. Well, hold on. Give me a sec. All right, can everybody see that? Okay. Type in the chat box and let me know that you all can see this PowerPoint screen. Anyone out there? Anyone out there? Okay, Wendy, you can see it? Okay, so let me go through this real quick. So the best way to go, if the best way to become EVP Gold, obviously, let me back up. First of all, you have to become an EVP. So I'll go through this real quick. Okay. Hold on for a sec. Okay, so this is you up here at the top. And so by sponsoring or enrolling two new independent business owners, you immediately become EVP. All right. Now what happens is this: after the third person that you sponsor, you now start what you call your base shop, which is this down here. And so here's the strategy, and this is the approach that I'm using in order for me to help. I'm already an EVP Gold, but what I'm trying to do is help develop more EVP goals. But this is a strategy. So personally sponsor 5 new IBOs, independent business owners. All right. Once you get 5 new IBOs, work with each one of them to ensure that they become EVP. So you got your associate 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now make sure or help them become EVP. When you do, this what happens. You have 5, you personally sponsored 5, right? Once those 5 becomes EVP, you just added 10 more people in your base shop, that'll give you 15 more. All right. Now, all we got to do from this point forward is rinse and repeat. These new 10 people, these new 10 independent IBOs, now all we got to do is help those 10 new IBOs become EVP. All right. When you do, guess what? You just added 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. So you just added 20 more new IBOs, which gives you a total of 35. You only need 30 IBOs in your base shop in order for you to become EVP Gold. Now, why did I break it down in this sense here? Is because of the fact that I know everybody knows at least 2 people who need tax savings, who need to eliminate debt, who need to fix their money habits, who need to create, who need extra income by way of business, and have money set aside for emergency fund. And lastly, I know everybody needs to have money set aside to put in an investment for retirement. Either one of those 5, or if not all 5, I know everybody knows at least 2 people, at least 2. Okay. So your first goal is to become EVP, and then from there, personally sponsor 5 new associates in your base shop, and then work with those 5 new associates so they can become EVP. After those associates become EVPs, now you just duplicate the process. Have those same EVPs help the other folks become EVPs, and then now you have 35 people in your base shop. All right. Now, that's pretty much it for Go for Gold. That's pretty much a strategy. We'll have another webinar after this next week. We're gonna have them weekly until the promo ends, and I'll go over this again. All right. Let's all right, let's see. All right, the number one asset. Okay. Let's talk about the number one asset here. All right. Hopefully everybody can see that screen there. All right, so real quick, I want to go over the number one asset, and the reason being, this is where you start seeing how these tax savings is going to increase your pocket. All right, so now the minute that you become a business owner, now you start writing off of these things that used to be out of pocket expense for you. All right, so real quick, let me go through this. Look at your mortgage. So let's say that you had $1,000 mortgage at a 20% deductible rate. Now you're saving $200 a month and $2,400 a year. Utilities, that's your gas, water, electricity, things of that nature. Same 20%. Your tax savings is $100 a month, $1,200 a year. Cell phone, you got a $100 a month cell phone. You're gonna write off 85% of that. So that's $85 a month, $1,000, $1,020 a year that you're getting in tax savings. Yes, you get to write off the miles that you put on your car. It's actually 57 cents, but for sake of this example here, it's 56 cents a mile. So now you're saving yourself that should be $5,600. I fat finger that one. All right. Meals and entertainment. So we all go out and eat. So let's just say for a whole that you ate and you accumulated $200 of meals and entertainment. Well, Uncle Sam says you get to write off 50% of that. So that's $100 a month, $1,200 a year tax savings. Last but not least, internet. You got an internet bill of $50. Now I'm being modest when we say that. Most cable bills or internet bills are higher than that. But we for sake of being modest here, we just went with $50, being conservative. So you're gonna get 100% write-off on that. That's $50 a month, $600 a year in tax savings. So when you add up the year column, total tax savings, that's $12,220. Okay. So let's round it off in math. That's $12,000 that you get in tax savings in just those 6 common deductions. Everybody need to understand, as a self-employed business, a home-based business owner, you can qualify up to 475 tax deductions. I just showed you 6. Now I think we all can agree, if we join this business and we have the cash flow and we utilize our cash flow manager software as we should and be consistent with it, I would agree that all of us should be at least, at bare minimum, be able to get at least $12,000 in tax savings. Okay, just by doing this 6, but there are more. But just by doing this 6, you can very easily get yourself $12,000 in tax savings. All right, let's look at number 8. So number 8 is nothing more than this. So let's say this is an individual who have a business, right? Okay. So what they just did by them being a business owner, they saved themselves 30%, or they're getting themselves 30% in tax savings. So that's why the $3,600 is a plus sign, because that's their tax savings, right? So if they didn't have a business, guess what happens? Now they're going to be, this is just out-of-pocket expense, and they're going to get taxed on this. But they save themselves $3,600 in tax saving because they're a business owner. All right? They're a business owner. I'm not going to go through the whole sheet. That's another training. But what I want to show you is the tax savings that you can get by becoming a home-based business owner and writing off 6 to 7 common deductions. Why is that important? Well, here's why. Because we're going to go over the W-4 now. Okay. Let's go over the W-4. Okay, now this is, remember when I said the minute you come in, anyone joins, this is the probably first or second thing that you need to do once you join the business. This is an IRS. This is an IRS documentation, and as you can see right here, this is where here's the website address to it. So this is not a documentation that's made up. It comes straight from the IRS.gov. Okay. Here, I'm going to read the purpose. The purpose of filling out a W-4 is to complete a W-4 so that your employer can withhold the correct federal income tax from your pay. Consider completing a new W-4 Form W-4 each year, and when your personal or financial situation change. What does that mean? If you're single and you get married, your financial situation just changed. If you married and you have a child, your situation just changed. If you get a divorce, your situation just changed. If your child becomes age of 17 or older, your situation just changed. So basically, every time your financial situation is changing, you need to be changing your W-4 so you can get the proper withholdings from your paycheck. All right. Again, this is not about tax evasion. This is about tax protection. We want to make sure everyone is paying only their fair share in taxes and not a penny over. And that's why we want to go over this W-4. And tonight, this W-4 training will be the last thing we'll do tonight. All right. So going through the W-4, here's how the W-4 goes. All right. And it's pretty much self-explanatory here, but we'll go through it line by line. So line A, anyone for yourself if no one else can claim you. So that one is a given. So everyone puts a 1 in line A. Line B, in a 1, if you fall into those three conditions there. If you're single and have one job, if you're married, have one job, and your spouse does not work, or your wages from a second job or your spouse's wage are $1,500 or less. If you meet those 3 criterias, put a 1 there. All right, put a 1 there. Line C, in a 1 for your spouse. Well, obviously, if you're not married, that will be 0. But if you married, put 1 there. If you married, put 1. Line D, enter the number of dependents other than your spouse or yourself that you claim on your tax return. This is talking about your children. All right. This is talking about your children. So if you married and you have 2 children, then that means on line D, you're going to put a 2 there. Okay. You're going to put a 2 there because this is talking about other than your spouse. They're talking about your children. All right. So put a 2 there on line D. All right. Line F. In a 1, if you have at least $2,000 of child or dependent care expenses. This is simply no more than if you have a child that you put in daycare or after school care, anything like that, and they total up to $2,000 a year, you put a 1 there. Okay, you put a 1 on line F. All right, line G, child tax credit. All right, this one tends to trip a lot of folks up for some reason, but if you actually read it, it really makes sense. If you actually read it, it does make sense. So child tax credit. This is how you qualify for child tax credit. You have 2 conditions. Here's the first condition. If your total income will be less than $70,000 if you're single and $100,000 married, then you enter a 2 for each eligible child. So if you had 2 children, right? Let's say that you're married and you earned $90,000. Just giving an example. All right. So income threshold, you meet the criteria for if you're married. This is the criteria for married. So you make $90,000. So you meet the income threshold. Now, if you got 2 children, now each child will get you enter a 2 for each child. So if you have 2, line G will be 4. Line G will be 4 if you have 2 children and you're if you marry, earning less than $100,000, which we said $90,000. Okay. Now, if you have 2 children or more, guess what happens? Let's say that you have 3. All right. So each child will get, and here's what it says right here. If you have 2 or 4 eligible children, then or less 2 if you have 5 or more. All right. So let's say that you had 3. Okay. Now each eligible child gets a 2 next to them, but you'll have to subtract 1 from the total eligible from the total eligible child tax credit. Remember, each child is going to get a 2. So if you have 3, that gives you a total of 6 6 credits, tax credits, but you're going to have to subtract 1 because of this requirement, this requirement here. 2 or more, you have to subtract 1. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. If not, we'll do some more training on the W-4. All right. Speaking of which, there is a video in your back office under training, then under the section income strategy, tax strategy. There's a training called W-4 training that's done by Ivy Stokes himself. He's going to go line by line and explain all this to you, line by line. All right. But I wanted to jump on here real quick to just show you that the W-4 is not all that hard. All right. So line G, given that example, and I know I can't cover everybody's example in here, but given that example, right, you should be able to fill out line G. Line H, simply all you're doing is you adding line A through line G to get your total for line H. All right. When we do in the front of the W-4, let me just say this real quick. When we doing the W-4, we simply telling the government this is what's happening on my personal side, right? So if we never fill out the back, there is a back, but if we never fill out the back and all we do is fill out the front, that means at the end of the year, when it's time to file our taxes, we file in what we call a 1040 Schedule A, which we known it to be the short form. And here's what I'm going to tell you about a short form. You're not going to get much tax savings there because of the fact you're not getting you're not claiming a whole lot of allowances other than child tax credit, as you can see. But it's not asking for any other thing on the front of the form. That's the reason why, if people who don't have a business are not able to itemize, you're not going to get any tax savings. Very little. That's why it's important to where we have to put ourselves in a position as a business owner to fill out the back, because when you fill out the back, now at the end of the year, you're filing what you call a Schedule A. Now you're claiming they're asking you for assets. And assets, income producing assets, always give you more taxable expenses that you're gonna be writing off at the end of the year. All right. So again, let's look at the back. Line 1. I'm not gonna go through the whole form, but a couple of things that I want to point out here. Line 1 is pretty much self-explanatory. If you follow those 3 conditions there, well, let's look at line 1. So line 1, enter an estimate from your 2016 itemized deductions. Okay. So basically here on line 1, you can go back to your previous year on line 40 of your 1040. And if this is where you itemize the previous year. You go back to your 1040 of your last year tax return and go to line 40. If you have anything there, that means you didn't itemize. But if you did itemize, you should see a dollar figure there. Whatever that dollar figure is, put that on line 1. All right, put that on line 1. Line 2, this is your standard filing status. So whatever category that you file in, if you married, filing jointly, that means you put that $12,600 there. If you had a household, let me go back to head of household. I meant to go over this. This is something that I had to learn too. In order for you to claim head of household, you can these are the conditions. You can only claim head of household if you are unmarried. That means you got to be single and pay more than 50% of the cost of upkeeping of a home for yourself and your dependents. qualifying dependents, that is. We ain't talking about going to Pookie and them and buying their children. We talking about your kids that you claim at the end of the year for taxes. You cannot claim head of household if you married. A lot of folks tend to think, okay, well, I make more money. I'm the guy in the house. I make more money. I'm claiming head of household. In accordance with the IRS, federal government, this is the condition that you can claim for head of household. All right, these are the only conditions. So you have to be single and have children in order for you to claim head of household. If you fall in that condition, then your standard deductible amount, your standard filing status amount is $9,300. And then obviously, if you're single with no kids, not married, your standard filing status amount is $6,300. All right. Then line 3, you subtract whatever it is you have on line 1 and line 2. That gives you a total. Line 4. Line 4 is enter an estimate of your 2016 adjustment to income and any additional standard deductions. Okay. It says CPUB 505. All right. IRS publication 505. It lists out all the standard deductions that you can claim to get this adjustment. Let me foot stomp this. Estimate is not asking for a specific dollar amount. It's asking for an estimate. Okay. Now you remember when we was doing a number one asset, and I showed you that $12,000 in expensable taxable expenses. If you're a business owner, right, and let's say that you're just getting started, okay, if you're just getting started, right, then I just showed you on that number one asset that by you being a business owner, you can estimate that you will accumulate $12,000 in deductions. So in other words, you can use that $12,000 on line 4 as an estimate. Let me say that again. You can use $12,000 that was on that number one asset as an adjustment to income from your standard deductions. Okay, because we're always simply saying is, yes, I'm starting a business, and I estimate that this is the amount that I'm going to get in deductions at the end of the year. All right. Now, if you feel some kind of way about using $12,000, that's fine. Let's go on the conservative level. You can use the bare minimum of $4,050, which is here on line 8. And I'm going to explain that here once we get down there. So if you want to go the conservative route, use the $4,050. But if you want more allowances to claim, meaning your employer take less out of your employer take less out of your paycheck, use the $12,000. You can use either or, and you'll see what happens. Right? So now, line 5, all you're gonna do is add line 3 and line 4. If nothing there, let's say line 3 was 0 and line 4 is $12,000. That means line 5 will be $12,000. All right. Line 6, enter the estimate of your 2016 non-wage income. This simply means if you got an investment portfolio outside of your 401k plan. This means that you got a mutual fund, an IRA that you're getting capital gains or dividends from. All income is reportable to include investments. The only thing about investment is only being taxed at 15% or less, but it's reportable. So whatever that amount is, put it there. But if you don't have any investments to report, that is 0. So for example here, line 6 is going to be 0. So when you subtract, let's say that this 12,000, let's say when you subtract, well, that ain't gonna be good math. Let's say this is the $12,000 that you had here on line 4, it was brought down to line 8. Okay. Now, here's what line 8 is about to tell you. Divide 4,050, divide the amount that's on line 7, which is $12,000, by 4,050. When you do that, guys, here's what you're going to get. That's going to be on line 8. Let me do the math for you. So in essence, that's going to be 2.962, and it says drop the decimal. So since that was 2.9, we was always taught in math to round up if it's 5 or greater. So in essence, line 8 is going to be 3. So what does that mean? That means your business just brought you 3 more allowances, because the government is saying for every $4,050 you got in total deductions, you gain an allowance. That's all line 8 is saying. All line 8 is saying the government is going to give you 1 allowance for every $4,050 you got in total deductions. On line 7, it was $12,000, and that came from your business. Okay, so your business gave you an additional three allowances on the back to include what you have on the front. Now we're down to line 9. So whatever the total that you had on the front goes on line 9. Line 10, all you got to do is add line 8 and 9, and that's your total. And then that goes here on line 5. W4 done. You sign it, put your information in there, turn it to HR, and then HR will process it. I don't know. I don't work in nobody's payroll, so I don't know how long it takes. It's up to the human resource department and your payroll department, how fast they can process your W4. I've seen it done as quick as, it depends on your pay period, your pay cycles. I don't know. I don't control it. But the main thing is you want to fill this out and get it turned in so that they can withhold the proper allowances from your paycheck. And listen, guys, year in and year out, your business is going to, this number is going to change. On line 7, this number should change. It should grow because you're going to be itemizing. And so here's the thing. The more you itemize, the more allowance you pick up and claim. The more allowances you claim, the less your employer would take out of your paycheck, which means more money back into your pocket. All right? That means more money back into your pocket. All right? So those are the things I just really wanted to go over real quick. Again, we'll do another training video for the next wave of new IBOs that come in. But I just wanted to jump on here real quick because I know everybody. I didn't want anybody to feel as though we just herding folks into the business and not taking care of them, because that's not what we do here. All right, that's not what we do. Any questions? Any questions on what you've seen thus far as this training? Any questions? If you have any questions, please type in the chat box. So now I'm opening up for Q&A because this is pretty much the end of the training. I'm opening up for Q&A. If you have any questions, go ahead and type in the chat box, and I'm monitoring the chat box and see if I can get some questions answered. It could be anything about the W4, anything that we went over, if anything that we hadn't went over tonight, and regarding to anything else about the business, go ahead. This is your perfect opportunity to go ahead and ask the questions. All right. Go ahead, type in the chat box and let me know if you got any questions. You're welcome, Summer. Again, if the video, if how I went over the W4 didn't make sense, by all means, go into your back office under training and go under the first module called tax strategies, and then look for the video that says W4 by Ivy Stokes, and Ivy Stokes will go go line by line and helping you fill it out. Aura, are you asking if there's a replay? Yeah. Hopefully, I understand that you said if you itemized last year, that's how you get the amount. What if I did not? So if you didn't itemize the year before, then that means you do not fill out lines 1, 2, and 3 on the back. Yes, Letitia, it is recorded, and I will put the replay out there. For those who registered and did not get on live, they will automatically get the replay. But for those who came on live, you won't get that automatically. But I'll put the replay link out in the team page for viewing. But some are going back to your. Okay, so you got that. Okay, cool. So yes, if you did not itemize the year before, that means on the back of the W4, you will skip lines 1, 2, and 3 and just go straight to 4, line 4. Hope that makes sense. Yes. So Aura is asking if can you fill out this W4 for all your jobs? The answer is a resounding yes. If you got 3 jobs, that means you got 3 W4s that you need to fill out. You need tax savings from all 3 of those jobs. Yes, Summer, you skip lines 1 through 3 on page 2 of the W4. Yes, if you didn't itemize. Let me go back to Aura's question about the W4. Here's the other thing where we trip up on filling it out. Let's say that you're married. Okay, you and your spouse is going to fill out your own separate W4s, and whatever number that you come up with, they should be identical. Meaning this. Let's say that you and your husband, you have 2 children. Okay, on the front where it talks about on the line where it talks about the child tax credit is asking you for the number of dependents, you and your husband is going to put 2, not you take 1 and your husband take 1. That's incorrect. You're both filling out your own individual W4s that you're turning into your respective human resource department, and you're claiming the children that you claim on your W4. But you do not split your children, your dependent account for your W4. A lot of folks was doing that. I take 1 and she'll take 1. No, you both gonna take 2 because you both got 2 children. All right, did everybody understand that? That's not the proper way of filling out the W4. I was doing, me and my wife were doing the same thing. You take 1, girl, you take 1, I get 1. Nah, that we was doing it wrong. Hence the reason why I was overpaying $1,100 a month in taxes, y'all. I was doing that wrong for 20 some years. So I gave away $375,000 in overpaid taxes, unbeknownst to me. Now, how many feel as though $1,100 a month is a lot of money? I thought it was. $1,100 is a lot of money. Yes, 4 children. Yes, some of you have 4 children. Yes. So now on your front side, so some are just using your example, right? So just for that line there, when it comes to that child tax credit, now you'll have 4 there. Okay. All of summer. So are your children under the age of 17? Well, let's say this. Let's assume that you're for example that your children are under the age of 17, right? So you will qualify for a child tax credit. Okay. Here's the thing about the child tax credit. As soon as a child hits the age of 17, you lose that tax incentive. Okay. Here's the other thing. There's this other tax incentive called earned income credit, which is predicated on the amount of money that you earn in a total year and you having dependents. Here's the thing about earned income credit. If you earn $50,000 in total wages for a calendar year, you disqualify yourself for the earned income credit. As long as you're earning $49,000 or less and you have dependents, you can qualify for up to $1,000 in a tax incentive for each children. Now, going back to the child tax credit, that tax incentive or tax savings is up to $2,000 that you get on each child. So Summer, for you, right, you get a tax savings or a tax incentive of $8,000 because you got 4 children. Now, that does not mean you're going to get $8,000 in a refund. What that simply means is this, and this is another training that I do once after the promo. I get back into the real drill sergeant training thing. I have a tax training that I do, and I talk about what's the difference between tax credit and itemized deductions. But real simple and short, they both lower your tax liability, but they do it in different forms. Here's what a tax credit does. Tax credit basically does this. If it subtracts the amount that you owe to the federal government. So say, for instance, Summer, you owe the federal government $10,000, okay? But you have 4 children. They're under the age of 17. So you get a tax incentive of $8,000. So instead of you owing $10,000, you're only going to owe $2,000 because they're going to take the child tax credit, the incentive, the $8,000, and they're going to subtract it from your tax bill. That's what a tax credit does. It subtracts the total amount of you having a tax bill. On the other hand, as an itemized deduction, it works a little bit different. So Summer, and I don't mean to pick on you, Summer, but I'm just using you as an example. Let's say that your total wages you reported a total wages of $50,000 at the end of the year. Okay. Now, remember that $12,000 that I showed everyone on the number one asset that you're gonna get in tax savings? That's your itemized deductions that you're gonna claim on your Schedule C. Now, here's what's gonna happen. Instead of the IRS taxing you on $50,000, they only going to tax you on $38,000 because they're going to take your total deduction amount of $12,000 and subtract it from your total wages. So simply what you just did, you just lowered your tax liability through what we call adjustment to gross income. You just lowered your adjustable gross income by having itemized deduction. Folks, that's the reason why we in this business, because of the fact we want itemized deductions. Tax credits are not going to give you tax savings as itemized deductions will, as you can see that. The whole game is this, because itemized deduction is basically you're going to subtract. You're going to lower your adjustable gross income through itemization, which lowers your tax liability. Okay, and that's where the pot of gold is: getting itemization. That's where everybody want to position themselves to get itemized deduction. But that's why I said if you only filling out the front of that W-4, that means you only filing the Schedule A. Look what they're asking on the front of that of the W-4. They ain't asking for much, only for if you got children. If you single ain't got any children, guess what? IRS is gonna be steady digging in your pockets because you don't have any kind of tax incentive that you can claim. If you single with no dependents and no business, the IRS is always going to be digging in your pocket real deep. You have no way to get any kind of tax savings. Hopefully that makes sense to everybody. Hopefully that makes sense. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions? I don't want to keep y'all here too long. I know we started kind of late. I was trying to give time for folks to come on, and I didn't want to drag this out because I don't like to have long webinars or training, but I just wanted to make sure that everybody understand the importance of coming into business and getting acclimated. And I basically just want to make sure everyone gets on the yellow brick road here, so that way they can get working on their path to financial success. All right. So if there are, I'm gonna ask one more time. Are there any other questions? Going once? Going twice? All right. Well, listen, guys. Thanks everyone for jumping on. Again, this is recorded. I will put the replay link out there, so share it with your team members. We'll have this live again next week, hopefully with some new independent business owner. And by the way, for those who are new and just came into the organization during this promo, let me personally say welcome to the team. Your experience will never be the same if you apply yourself, right? If you apply yourself to it. All right. See, the thing about it is we used to, as a W-2 income earner, we go apply for a job, right? We go and apply for a job. But here in the business, your business applies to you. You apply to a business, right? And then you reap the benefits more out of a business. All right. So here again, we just want to make sure everybody's on the right track. I gave everyone, I provided my cell phone number. So if you have any problems of trying to get of anything, W4, or if you're having problems getting the Cash Flow Manager app on your phone or getting it set up on your computer, then by all means give me a call and I can help you walk through it. All right. All right. Well, that's my time, y'all. Let me run. Y'all have a good evening, and we will talk at you later. All right. Bye-bye.